Quote, Queen, I think black people really need to define what black is. I feel as if of all the races, blacks will willingly accept those who look nothing like them, like Ben Jealous and Halle Berry and Obama somewhat. This isn't division. The fact is that biracial people are just that, biracial. How is it that Halle Berry is comfortable calling her fair-haired daughter black? Because of a lack of black pride in defining what black is? If you have parents of two different races, I don't consider them black. End quote. This was a comment posted under my last video about dark-skinned women. Because the comment is no longer there, I won't identify who the person is. I didn't want to address this comment when I first posted the video because I felt like it diverted from the topic. However, I feel a responsibility to address it now. The commenter is entitled to his opinion. I can somewhat understand his reasoning, however, I don't agree with the overall sentiment. A couple of years ago, I wrote some metaphysical explanation about what black is in response to a video I posted called Suddenly Shook and Scared to Be Black, in which I discussed black folks who are afraid of being too black. At the time, I was confused by the comments because people raised issues that I never thought could be picked up from what I said in my video, like feelings about lightness and darkness, how much percentage of non-black was a part of you, denunciation of African as an identity, nationality, like black American versus African, black as a color and black as a race. My metaphysical answer to a few of these issues assign blackness to the abstract, out there in the world, making it an energy instead of a tangible thing. So this video is an updated version of that explanation. The difference is today that my view is grounded by a material understanding of the world that we live in. I don't believe it is a job of any group of black people to define another black person's identity. While I feel we can make determinations about ourselves and the world around us, we cannot make a collective decision about a biracial, black and other person's identity and how they understand their own blackness. To do so is obscene, divisive, and authoritarian. Most often it's coming from a place of subjectivity. You know what, if Halle understands her blackness, we should accept it. The same as if Tiger Woods says he's not black, we should accept it. I did, even though he's darker than most of us with two black parents. As an African internationalist, I have accepted a worldview that claims every black person, wherever we are located, as part of the worldwide African nation. This is not to say that I impose my view on another person's understanding of themselves. I simply state it and let whoever feels connected to it make their own determinations about how they want to identify. And being an African internationalist is more than just making a big statement. It requires being involved in practical work to overturn the system that oppresses black folks. And it has been my pleasure to work alongside some of the hardest, blackest, most African people who just so happen to be biracial, black and other. That's right, some of the most fightingest Africans are biracial. And even outside of that work, sometimes it is biracial black people who are on the front lines exposing injustices, pushing for revolution, and struggling against the continued exploitation of us, African people. Harder than a so-called full black people who sit around quite happy to indulge in thinking that the fullness of their Africanness or blackness is enough. Often in history we hear about the offspring of the slave master siding with the slave master. What about the offspring of the slave master who led revolts against their own parents and brought about the end of certain types of oppression for their fellow black people, people who have shed blood just to see their people free? One example is Solitude of Guadeloupe, who led revolts in 1802 and fought battle after battle pregnant on the field and died at the hands of her oppressor. And please don't misunderstand me, because I know people like Solitude cannot be compared to a Ben Jealous or a Halle Berry, but the original statement doesn't leave room to pick and choose. It says they are not black. They should not feel black. They don't understand blackness by virtue of a union that they did not decide, and they should not be accepted as a black person even if that's how they understand themselves to be. I find that ridiculous and I don't agree. I'm reminded of Pretty Willie, the white-looking black character in the 1973 movie Spook Who Sat by the Door, who protested.
I'm tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black. I live black. And I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
Thank you, Pretty Willie, for reminding us what black is. Black is struggle. Black is the struggle. A struggle that is both internal and external. And once you understand the struggle, or rather, once the struggle understands you, there won't be any of these empty discussions about what black is.